Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Colonation Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 80, and in this episode, we're going to be taking on set number 3 of the Realgam Tower Colosseum Challenge. And in the last episode, we took on set number 2, and it took a lot longer than set number 1 did. So, I'm expecting this one to be just as long, if not a few minutes longer than the last one, because I don't know that the sets necessarily progressively get longer or more difficult, but I do know that it's a big step up from what we went through in the first set, which really wasn't that bad at all. Alright, so on to set 3 here. We have Super Trainer Gale, I want to say. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce that. But anyway, it's going to be Wigglytuff and Stantler as the opposing Pokemon for us. And we're going to start off with Lairon and Vaporeon. Of course, Stantler has the Intimidate ability, so both of your opponents, or not your opponents, both of your starting Pokemon are going to get their attack lowered. And because of that, I'm going to switch Lairon out here. And I feel like that's just the best choice, because he doesn't really do a whole lot of damage when his attack does get lowered, so to prevent any badness from going on and to maybe get this fight over with a little bit faster, I'm going to take him out, put Ninetales out in his place, and we're going to finish out this turn by going for a Water Pulse on Stantler, and it takes away about 2/3 of his HP and gives him a confused condition. I almost said confusion condition, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Alright, so we also have Wigglytuff to deal with here, and Wigglytuff is kind of sort of tanky. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying it's a tank, but it is bulky for sure, and it will take a few hits to knock it out unless you can manage to hit it with something like Cross Chop. Anyway, Stantler went down, and Miltank is the replacement, and we get a Water Pulse off on that as well. And this Miltank is just a pain in the butt. Freaking crazy pain in the butt. I believe it also has a rest, so it can heal itself. I think it might have Curse, Body Slam, so it can paralyze you. And it's just, this thing is a pain in the butt. As soon as it comes out on the field, I would try to get it out of the way as soon as possible. We're going to go for a Flamethrower on Wigglytuff. We get lucky with a critical hit here. But the reason I stayed away from using Flamethrower on Miltank was because of its Thick Fat ability, which pretty much just absorbs fire-type attacks as well as ice-type attacks. It makes them do half as much damage, I believe. Anyway, Quagsire is the next Pokemon that's going to come out. It's Water and Ground-type. If you have a Grass-type, you're good to go. If you don't, it might take a while to knock this thing out because it is also fairly bulky, and I guess that's just the theme of this battle. She likes to use bulky Pokemon. Alright, we almost have this Miltank dead, so I'm going to try to kill it before it rests. Flamethrower with Ninetales, and not quite. As you can see, it does just about no damage, and it gets a rest off, sadly, right before we were about to kill it. It's going to get all of its HP back, and it'll be asleep for the next 2 turns, but it also has Sleep Talk, which allows it to use one of its other attacking moves while it's asleep, which kind of sucks. Mud Shot from Quagsire would have been better if you used that on a Ninetales, because it just would have been super effective, but it does a decent amount of damage to Vaporeon, gets him down into the very low red, and also lowers his speed, so that part's kind of sucky. Ninetales is going to get a Flamethrower off here on Miltank. Again, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but he's got about 1/3 of his HP left. And as I predicted, he's going to go for a Sleep Talk here. And, unfortunately for him, it picked Rest, and he can't use that while he's asleep, so that part sucks. Water Pulse. Finally, Miltank goes down, and goodbye. I'm not going to miss that thing, because this Miltank can really draw out the fight for a really long time if you don't have anything that can do a lot of damage on it. And now we have Shuckle, yet another Pokemon that can really draw this battle out. This thing is a tank of all tanks. Its defense is ridiculously high, and it likes to use Rest, and I think it might have Double Team as well, so not only will it have all of its health back after a rest. It will also be very difficult to attack after a couple of double teams. Water Pulse, thankfully we're able to get that off because it is super effective on Shuckle, but still not enough to knock it out. A Flamethrower and a super effective Water Pulse don't knock it out. And Ninetales is going to be finished off by that Mud Shot there. Alright. Now what to do? What to do? Thinking about sending Crobat out here. Crobat at least will have a speed advantage over both of these Pokemon at the very least. And we need to knock this Shuckle out before it rests. So it's imperative that we knock it out pretty much immediately. I'm going to try a Wing Attack. And we'll do an Ice Beam as well, just to make sure that it knocks it out. Wing Attack does connect, and Shuckle goes down, thankfully. Oh, that can get really dangerous, because once he gets all those double teams up and starts resting, I think he also has Sleep Talk and Toxic, so yes, can get kind of iffy. We get a critical hit with Ice Beam there on Quagsire, so it brings him down into the red, and finally Vaporeon's going to go down after absorbing a crap ton of hits. And that Mud Shot just finally is too much for it. Now that this battle's winding down, we're going to bring in Lairon for some easy experience, because Crobat is most assuredly going to knock this Quagsire out with Wing Attack. Down it goes, and that was kind of a long battle, just about a 7-minute battle. And Lairon's going to go up to level 40. Fantastic. He's getting very close to evolving. Just 2 more levels to go. And that's going to do it for Battle 1. Yikes. Good night. And she's crying. She's sad. Whatever. Alright, onwards. Battle number 2. And hopefully this battle is a little bit faster, but we'll see. Oh, I thought he was going to start dancing. That would have been funny. Maybe I'll take it easy on you just a little bit. I don't recommend that, Axon. I really don't. Because if you take it easy on me, you're going to lose. Okay, so he starts out with 2 bug and flying type Pokemon, Ladian and Ninjask. And both of these Pokemon are very quick. Ninjask is the quicker of the 2, and also has the speed boost ability, which will increase its speed after every turn. But thankfully, we do have Lairon out, and both of these Pokemon, because of their typing, have a 4 times weakness to the Rock type. Ninjask goes for a Swords Dance there, and Ladian's going to go for a Double Team, so they're just upping their stats in this turn. But that unfortunately means that Ladian 1 can do a lot of... not what I meant. Ninjask can do a lot of damage with Swords Dance, but Ice Beam ends up knocking it out, and Ladian can be very difficult to hit after a couple of Double Teams. Mawile is the replacement Pokemon. Hopefully it doesn't have Intimidate. No, it does. Darn it. Okay. Rock Tomb ended up missing Ladian, which makes sense because Rock Tomb doesn't have a lot of accuracy to begin with. And then the Double Team. Ladian also apparently knows Swords Dance, which is not a move that it normally learns. I'm guessing that's an egg move because it's not a TM yet in the 3rd generation. Water Pulse on Mawile, and that takes away most of its HP. That should end up dying in the next turn. Rock Tomb on Ladian, it is 4 times super effective. And it does knock it out, even with the Intimidate attack lowering, so awesome. Heracross is next, the bug and fighting type Pokemon. I recommend using flying types if you have it. So I guess the strategy here is that they're all going to be using Swords Dance, so I'm going to predict a Swords Dance from Heracross as well. Let's see, we'll use Rock Tomb on Heracross to lower his speed a little bit and get rid of... Mawile with a Water Pulse, and it's a good thing I went for a Rock Tomb there to lower his speed because apparently he's the fastest one on the field. Did not expect Heracross to be faster than Vaporeon. Maybe Lairon, that makes sense because Lairon's kind of clunky and slow, but still, yikes. Alright, and the last Pokemon that he's going to send out is Pinsir. And it's just a pure Bug-type Pokemon. Crap, Rock Tomb missed. That's not good. I guess this time we'll do Rock Tomb on Pinsir because it's actually super effective on Pinsir. And we'll go for a Water Pulse, I guess. False Swipe, which actually isn't that bad of a move, but he went for it on Lairon, which I just don't understand. because it would have done a lot of damage to Vaporeon. Pinsir goes for the Swords Dance to up his attack, and Pinsir, out of all the Pokemon we've seen so far, has the highest attack. I mean, Pinsir can very well sweep your team if he gets a couple of Swords Dances off. So we're going to go for a Rock Tomb to lower his speed, and it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, even despite being super effective. And so we'll try a Rock Tomb on Heracross this time to maybe lower his speed as well. False Swipe again on Lairon. What are you doing? AI is retarded, I swear. Alright, Vaporeon's going to get a Water Pulse off here, and that almost knocks out Pinsir. Not quite. False Swipe, Lairon. Why are you doing this? Are you stupid? For real. Rock Tomb on Heracross, and that really doesn't do that much damage. That's to be expected, but we do get the speed lowered. And now we're in business here. We can probably knock out Pinsir this turn. I'm going to say we can... I'm kind of wondering if using Headbutt is a bad idea, but we'll see what happens. Water Pulse on Heracross, and just barely Heracross survives. And Pinsir's still fast enough to outspeed Lairon and get a False Swipe in. And see, that did a decent amount of damage on Vaporeon. I don't know why they weren't doing that in the first place. Fury Cutter on Heracross, which is a stab move against Vaporeon. And it actually is more powerful the more times consecutively that the move is used, because it increases in power every turn. Alright, unfortunately Iron Tail missed, but that doesn't change the fact that this battle is over this turn, unless they pull out some miracle. Heracross goes down to the Ice Beam, and Pinsir will get an extra False Swipe in, but I don't think that's going to do a whole lot. Nope, not enough to knock out Vaporeon. It would have been if they were using it on him from the beginning instead of just constantly using False Swipe on Lairon when it's not very effective. Well, that does it for Pinsir. Pinsir goes down, and that's going to be the end of this battle. And that's going to be the, what was that, the second battle? Dang, we're already over 12 minutes in, and it's only the second battle. We're only halfway there. Yikes. I guess it's time for battle number 3, the semifinal. So, we just have 2 battles left to go, and I have kind of a weird feeling deep down inside that this is going to be a long challenge, so maybe an over 20-minute video. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be for this one and the next one, but then again, you never know. Sometimes these battles just fly by, and other times they drag on for no reason. Ay, we'll see what happens. Ryder Pollitt is our opponent, and he's going to start out with a Tropius and a Azumarill. Of course, as always in this set, we have Lairon and Vaporeon to start. Tropius is going to be an easy kill with Vaporeon's 4 times effective Ice Beam, so we're going to go for that first. And Azumarill could be a bit of a problem, so the first thing I want to do is up Lairon's accuracy so that Rock Tomb and Iron Tail have a much better chance of hitting their targets. Tropius goes down very easily to that Ice Beam. It's not much of a challenge at all. And Vaporeon's going to grow up to level 42, and he's going to try to learn the move Haze. And Haze is actually a pretty decent move, and it eliminates all stat changes. So if somebody has a +6 attack or evasiveness from, Swords Dance or Double Team, Haze will eliminate that and reset everything. But unfortunately, we don't really have room in Vaporeon's moveset for Haze, so we're going to go without it. Crobat also can learn Haze. I'm not sure what level that is, but I do know he tries to learn it, so we may teach it to him, but may not as well. I guess we'll play that one by ear. Linoone is a replacement for Tropius, and this battle's kind of strange because all of his Pokemon are Pokemon that can learn a lot of HM moves, meaning Fly, Strength, Surf, Waterfall, Flash, Rock Smash, and Dive, because in the 3rd generation, Dive was also an HM move. So the hardest part of this battle is going to be taking out this Azumarill. If you don't have electricity or grass types, because this thing is just crazy bulky, and it just takes hit after hit after hit after hit. All the while, hitting you with stab waterfall attacks, which just do a lot of damage. Lanoon really isn't anything to worry about. It is fairly quick, but at the same time it likes to use Surf, which doesn't do a lot of damage because Lanoon just really doesn't have that much in the way of special attack. Unfortunately, Lairon bit the dust there after getting pummeled with a bunch of water type attacks, so raising his accuracy ended up not really doing a whole lot for us. We're going to send out Crobat as our replacement, and Vaporeon's going to Water Pulse this Lanoon out. We'll get rid of him, and I don't know if he has one more Pokemon or not. We may just be down to the Azumarill now. Crobat grows up to level 42 without doing anything, and he's trying to learn Mean Look. But of course we're not going to teach that to him because that serves almost no purpose in XD and Colosseum, other than to trap him from switching out Pokemon, but they don't normally do that. He does indeed have one more Pokemon, and it turns out to be Wailord, another Water-type Pokemon. And this thing has one of the highest HP stats out of everyone in the game. So we're going to be better off switching out to an Electric type here. So I'm going to take Crobat out, even though I just brought him in. And we'll send out Zaprong, our trusty Zaprong. Bite on Azumarill, as you can see. Once again, not really doing that much damage at all. And Wailord is going to go for a Stab Waterfall, and it doesn't do that much damage. I thought it was going to do much more than that. Oh, and we got lucky that Azumarill ended up flinching there, so good news for us. Thunder Punch from Zaprong on Azumarill gets a critical hit, but it was going to knock him out anyway. Finally, that Azumarill goes down. That thing has been on the field forever, and Crobat gets a little bit of the experience as well. Bite on Wailord, again, not doing that much damage. Even with Vaporeon's very, very high special attack stat, Bite just barely makes a scratch. Wailord flinched there, so we're getting kind of lucky with the flinching. And that holds him off until Zaprong can pull off a Thunder Punch, which is super effective and knocks out that Wailord for good. Almost growing up to level 43 is Zaprong, but that's alright. He'll have plenty of time to do that. We've defeated Pallet, and the semi-final is over, which means we have just one battle left in this set. And of course, that is going to be the final. And I'm hoping this goes very smoothly, but we shall see. Looks like we're going to be fighting a sailor, and his name is Bestall. Bestall, that's weird. Whatever. Nothing new. All the names in this game are weird. It's very rare when there are not weird names. Alright, well, he's going to start out with more water Pokemon, as to be expected, as he is a sailor. So we have Crawdaunt and Sharpedo. Both are water and dark types, which means that Lairon is kind of in trouble here, and we are also kind of in trouble because we don't really have anything to use on them. Crap, what do I want to do with Vaporeon here? It might just be better off to just switch. I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, we're going to take Vaporeon out of this battle, even though he's the matching type of the opponent, and we're going to bring in Zaprong. Sharpedo's going to go for a Bite, and Sharpedo, the thing about Sharpedo is that he's fast, you know, and strong, and he has a lot of attack power. He also has that Rough Skin ability, so it damages any opponents that make physical contact with it. The problem is that it's just so fragile, especially when it comes to special attacks. You really don't need to hit it with that much to do a lot of damage to it. Somehow Lairon survived that turn. Sharpedo was just stupid in using Bite on Lairon. We're going to raise Lairon's accuracy because I don't know that we have much else we can do. Thunder Punch on Crawdaunt, and that doesn't quite knock him out, unfortunately. Bite with Sharpedo again, this time on Zaprong. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll paralyze him. Not quite. But that's alright. Crawdaunt's going to go for a Bubble Beam on Lairon, and it connects. And unfortunately, that means Lairon's going to bite the dust there. Gone in one hit. Yet again. I picked the wrong set to use Lairon because it's been like all water-type Pokemon. All the other sets Lairon would have been great fighting in. Okay, so Ninetales obviously would be a stupid option here because of all the water types. We're going to send out Crobat. And Crobat should be able to take out that Crawdaunt very easily. It doesn't have that much health left to begin with. So we'll go for a Wing Attack. That connects, and Crawdaunt is going to go down. And we'll have Vaporeon and Crobat and Zaprong all share the experience there. Zaprong grows up to level 43, and the replacement Pokemon is a very powerful special attacker in Gorbis, and this thing can be dangerous. Thunder Punch on Sharpedo. It's going to take him out. We'll probably get hit with Rough Skin there. Yep. A little bit of Rough Skin damage, and we'll get our experience for that. Replacement, Kirlia, and don't know why it's not a Gardevoir. It doesn't make a lot of sense for it to not be fully evolved at this point. It's at level 40, and Kirlia evolves at level 30, I believe. So it's kind of way off there. Shadow Ball does a lot of damage to Kirlia, especially because of its lower physical defense stat. Doesn't quite knock it out, though. And Thunder Punch from Zaprong, again, takes Gorbis down into the very, very low HP range. Goes for the Iron Defense, which is something that is a leftover move from Clamperl. It's pre-evolution to increase its physical defense by 2 levels. Kirlia, meanwhile, went for a Taunt to force us into attack moves, which is what we were doing anyway, so I feel like that was kind of a waste of a turn. Bite on Kirlia, gets rid of him very quickly, and before it gets the chance to do any super effective psychic damage on Crobat. And we definitely have the advantage in this battle now. Yanma's the last Pokemon, and both Zaprong and Crobat have type advantages on it. So we are in very good shape here. Psychic from Zaprong on Gorbis to finish it off. What was left of it only had like 2 HP left. And get some more experience for that. And this battle is won pretty much. Even if Yanma is faster than both of my Pokemon, it won't be able to survive the turn. And that's too bad because Crobat ends up outspeeding it. Wing Attack, super effective. And Yanma's going to go down. So this really wasn't that bad of a battle at all. The previous battle, and especially the first battle, were what really ate up a lot of time. But we were able to power through these last 2 battles fairly quickly. What an eye-opening loss. Yeah, I know. Your eyes were opened and then closed when we punched them out. Nah, that sounded stupid. Alright, back down to the ground level with the Mere Mortals. Congratulations for winning your challenge. We get a lot of money for that. And we also get TM23. And what is TM23? Well, let's check it out. TM23 is none other than Iron Tail, an awesome Steel-type move, 100 base power. It's a fantastic move. I probably will be using that at some point. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And in the next episode, we'll finish off the last set of the Realgam Tower Colosseum. Stay tuned for episode number 81. Game on.